Hello everybody and welcome back to Let's Play Pikmin 2. I'm XenoGeno Matt, and last time we finished up with the submerged castle, finished up our debt, and returned to planet Hokotate, only to find that we left Louie behind. This time around, the president is coming with us. But before we get into that, I want to point out a couple things. We have 2 new entries in the Piklopedia for enemies, and I want to show off this glitch that I've known about for a really long time. So first off, Careening Dirigibug, Flotillum Circus Maximus, Dirigibug family. This creature floats effortlessly through the air using gas-filled balloons. Both its appearance and its nature are antagonistic, and it is the only variant of its species in this ecosystem. It may be best to consider the possibility that it somehow wandered into this ecosystem from an entirely alien one. Positive proof does not exist at this point, but that is how the creature is currently classified. Pull off the balloon-like air sacs, mince the meaty abdomen, and shape it into small cakes. Pan-sear the cakes until crusted, but be careful not to overcook the delicate meat. When ready to serve, garnish the plate with the vibrant air sacs. Even the most discerning dinner guest will be dazzled by the colorful presentation. He doesn't really look like he's made of meat. More like he's made of metal. But anyway, so this glitch, the only documentation I've found on this glitch was by a really old YouTube video by someone back in 2007. So here's the water wraith. This is how his entrance animation is usually, right? He falls down on his rollers, he lifts the rollers, and then he goes off to do his own thing. However, if we press Z as the rollers fall in, the rollers become turned to stone, and then the water wraith does. And this sets up something pretty janky. See, the rollers become unstoned, but if we freeze them again... yeah. So you can just keep alternating between freezing the water wraith and freezing his rollers. Because at first they're not connected, so the game kind of treats them as 2 separate entities. And look at that. Magnificent. Anyway, water wraith. Amphibio sapiens, unknown family. All that is known about this creature stems from a few sightings deep underground. All reported sightings feature the same core set of details. A giant viscous form with a clear hazy sheen not unlike hard candy. One theory holds that it may be the ectoplasmic incarnation of a kind of psychic phenomenon, but as it is usually the case with such theories, it is difficult to prove. All witnesses report being suddenly overcome with fear upon sighting the creature, approaching a state of panic and near insanity. In fact, every report contains an inordinate amount of extremely vague details, which has led to the suspicions that exhaustion and fear have caused some simple natural phenomenon to be viewed as a living creature. You know, he says that as it's literally rolling around crushing carrots that we are able to watch. But no, Olimar. This is definitely just some haze. Inedible, known to cause mass hysteria followed by leg spasms and internal thunderings. Yikes. Oh, I guess Louie's tried to eat the water wraith before. Let's check out the new area. Oh wait, before that, treasures. I realized I didn't show off the treasures last time. It looks like we also completed a set of treasures. Oh, one more thing to note, now that we've cleared out the debt, it'll show us, like, placeholders for treasures and enemies that we haven't seen yet. So we've completed the Winter Series collection, and I remember the ship's catchphrase is something along the lines of chase away winter doldrums with this festive set, or something like that. If I got that right, that'd be pretty hype. I only have my memory to go off of that. But yeah. So all of those were found in Frontier Cavern, which is nice. Other than that, we didn't really complete any sets. We got 3 batteries. We got drone supplies. Let's check this out. It's always good. Yesterday, the ship accused me of sampling all the food we've been collecting. That ship has a lot of nerve. Classic Olimar. Gotta love that Olimar. Anyway, without further ado, let's land in the Wistful Wild. Yes! The president! Gold ship hype! Mr. President, you've arrived. My scans indicate this planet is still heavily laden with treasure. We shall make Hokotate Freight the golden, indisputable king of deep space long-haul freight. Then everyone will be gaudily clad in gold, like me. No, I am unique and beautiful. Yes. Olimar, I must ask that you take extreme care so as not to insult or endanger our president. This Olimar turns to him and just starts flipping him off, calling him a bunch of rude names. Yikes. For now, where could Louie be? To be stuck on an uncivilized planet with no food at all? I am concerned. You must waste no time in finding him. We will waste all the time we need to. Let's switch to the president. Look at him go. A car horn. Anyway, this is the new area. Or is it? Notice anything familiar about this landing spot? Indeed, if you've watched the Pikmin 1 Let's Play, or you've played Pikmin 1 yourself, this area might not look all that unique to you. And you'd be correct. How about now? Hold on. I gotta make sure that I'm not about to get sniped by something. A large arena. Able to go up the sides of the arena. Maybe a canister was over here that once held some bomb rocks. Yep. This is the very arena where we fought Emperor Bulblax in the final battle of Pikmin 1. But don't get me wrong, the Wistful Wild is bigger than just the final trial. But we'll get to that part later. Alright, come on everybody. I hear something truly regrettable walking around. And it's not you. Although you're pretty regrettable. You bumbling... Or no, he's not the bumbling snitch bug, he's the swooping snitch, but... He's right there, isn't he? Yep. This metallic fish is known as the Gatling Groink. Why Gatling? That's why. He's got a very bizarre machine gun. Cannon. We'll call it a cannon. It's really weird and inconsistent because sometimes it kills and sometimes he directly hits your Pikmin and just nothing happens. Speaking of which, please don't shoot me. Another thing to note, just like the Bulbear, this is the other enemy in the game that can come back from death. That's two things that won't work. So yeah, way to deal with this guy is to take him down and just carry him back to base and make Pikmin out of him. And what a perfect time too. I can show off the new powers, or the power of my new Pluckaphone. Skadoosh. Pretty handy. Pretty handy indeed. It's a lot of time saved right there. It's a speedrunner's best friend, I'd imagine. Actually, no it isn't. I don't think they need to get much Pikmin anyway. Although, I mean, if they're going for 100% and they need 100 purple Pikmin, I would imagine that that might come in handy. Ooh, purple. Alright, buddy, you wanna, like, I'm having a moment here with this potion. There's a bunch of dwarf red bulborbs. And here's another area that may look oddly familiar, but it's not part of the final trial. And at this point, you're wondering, what? I've never seen this area before. And to that, I say, are you sure about that? And I say, okay. Maybe you haven't. Maybe it doesn't look familiar, considering it's now fall. Then I go over here, and I'm like, how about now? And that's when you notice that this is the impact site from Pikmin 1. And that's when you notice that there are these floating... Oh, all of that. I've got about 14 names for you, and none of them are viewer-friendly. Alright, 15. 15 names. Alright. Alright, it's fight night. Alright, thank you for your AI being... That's it! I've had enough of your shenanigans. Away with you! It's not gonna kill, is it? Well, that's upsetty spaghetti. I'm glad that this guy can't... can't aim. What do you have to say? You want to get involved? That's what I thought. Actually, I didn't need to beat him up. The treasure was right there. Unfortunate. Sorry about that, sir. You have a good day. The music here is very subtle, and you might not be able to hear it too well with me talking. Sorry about that. I would highly recommend going to listen to it. There's like a really neat guitar in the beginning that even when you're playing this game without someone talking your ear off, you might not, like, catch it at the first. Here's a cloaking baronet. Aha, you're in water. Perfect time for me to attack. I heard a Pikmin catch on fire there. I'm not okay with that. Also, something else I am not okay with. You are blue Pikmin. You can go in water. Why must you play me like this? Oh, this isn't one of those bridges that gets built rapidly. So yeah, this area is the connection of the impact site and the final trial. Neat, huh? I don't know why, I really like it. I like how, I don't know, I feel like Nintendo's got a certain, like, charm with games that reuse assets. I mean, this and Majora's Mask are some of my favorite games. Like, Majora's Mask was, you know, made so fast, basically because they used most of the assets were from Ocarina of Time, like all the character models and all that. And like here, you know, same environments, but like different time of season, different textures. But it feels unique. And I like it. I like it a lot. So yeah, and that also means that the Valley of Repose is the only original, like completely original map in this game. Crazy, huh? I mean, granted that they're not like one for one, you know, copy and paste of the map. I mean, like, the Perplexing Pool has a few elements that are very different than the Distant Spring. And the Forest Navel, for all I know, does not make a reappearance in this game. At least I don't think so. I don't think any part of the Valley of Repose is anything like the the Forest Navel, but if someone can point something out that shows that, like, you know, oh, this area in the Valley of Repose is actually this small segment of the Forest Navel, that would be cool. That would be cool, because in all my years of playing, I haven't been able to pick up anything, so I've just been kind of like, I don't think it's there. But yeah. All that for an acorn. An armored nut. And over here, we have a cave. Wait, from all appearances, this is a particularly frightening crevice. This data is horrifying. Courage is one thing, but recklessness is something else. Perhaps we should turn back? Well, if you still wish to enter, keep your daring in check and just focus on surviving. Yikes. When the game's telling you stuff like that, it's pretty scary. This is the Cavern of Chaos. 17 treasures inside. That's a bit of a trend for caves here in the Wistful Wild. There are 3 caves in total, and each one of them, the difficulty spike between the hardest cave outside of the Wistful Wild and the easiest cave in the Wistful Wild is quite large. You could make an argument that the Frontier Cavern is the hardest cave outside of the Wistful Wild. Either that or the other cave, which we haven't gotten to yet in the Valley of Repose. You might even be able to make the case that the Submerged Castle is the hardest just because of the added element of the Water Wraith. But I don't think it's up for much debate. So that Cavern of Chaos there, I would say that that's the easiest of the 3 caves here in the Wistful Wild. And I would say the Cavern of Chaos is harder than any of the 3 others that I just mentioned. Yeah, that's one thing this game kind of really just throws you into. It's like a pretty sizable difficulty spike. Out of like next to nowhere. I mean, like they kind of builds up, but like we're talking bomb rocks. We're talking like level floor or sub-level 4 of Submerged Castle on like multiple floors. There's one floor in particular that feels like it's straight out of like a Pikmin mod. I think that's Cavern of Chaos. We'll get to there though. I want to try to work those in just so I don't get exhausted of doing 3 hard, long caves in a row. So over here, this would be the landing site of the final trial. Alright, as long as they don't go after the electric gate, we're fine. Oh, well, less than fine there. You got one of them. That's most of this area. Let's bring back the crab. Nom nom nom. Oh. You know, in all of my running around, I failed to point out the elephant in the room. This treasure is right outside my base. And this is the one that it takes 100 purple Pikmin to lift. As we are limited to 100 Pikmin on the field, each purple Pikmin can carry 10 weight. 10 times 100, do the math. There it is. It only 100 purple Pikmin can lift it. But we'll get to that another day. It's almost sundown, so let's hurry up a bit. Well, that was quick. See, at this point in the game, when you have 10,000 Pokos, you've pretty much done most of the caves from outside. So I try to, like, you know, break up the monotony of going to Wistful Wild and going through a really long cave after long cave. But that being said, I think tomorrow we tackle the Cavern of Chaos. But we'll save the other 2 for another day after going back to some other place. What am I doing? The Cavern of Chaos is right outside my base. Why didn't I just jump in it? And that, folks, is a mental lapse. Could have saved today. Could have saved today. Anyway, Armored Nut. Armored Nut, everybody. Clap it up. Armored Nut. Numbers went up. 1 death. Some president you are. I just got back from vacation to find out you're on a treasure hunt. Well, don't bother coming home until you've found every item on your list. There's the president's wife. Oh my gosh. They took the president and they gave him blush, lipstick, purple hair, and glasses. I love this game. Absolutely adore it. Well, seeing as we've encountered one new enemy, let's see what he is like in the Picklepedia. Gatling Groink. Megaplod calibursi. Unknown family. This beastly predator's aggressive ejection of high-speed projectiles makes it one of the most fearsome creatures in the ecosystem. Its body seems to comprise of both biological and mechanical components, and represents one of the most evolutionarily advanced species ever observed. The chamber within its torso gives it rapid-fire biopellet launching capabilities. What appears to be a tail fin is in fact the base of its counterweight and ammunition cylinder, so immobilizing this appendage will prevent the Groink from attacking, at least in theory. Confirmation of this suspicion remains elusive, as nobody has volunteered to test it. I wouldn't go near this thing. Remove the cannon and ammo stockpile, then vigorously tenderize the meat with a heavy mallet. Stir fry with caramelized onions and figwort sprouts. Spoon over a steaming bowl of fluffy white rice and douse with chili sauce. I can only assume that, Louie encountered these creatures on his own and we kind of just, found his data files along the way. Was the Matite not a new enemy? Yeah, because I remember reading that. Weird. I mean, from, a few days ago. I guess I found it earlier in the playthrough. Anyway, I think that's it for today. You know what? Armored Nut. Let's do it. I've never tasted a nut quite like this. It's difficult to explain, but it tastes like sorrow. P.S. I can't shake the feeling that I've been here before. Aha! This must be the exact spot where I crash-landed last time. There it is, Olimar referencing the fact that he was here before. Neat. Though it's weird, because I'm pretty sure on the map the impact site was over here. Or something like that. And then the final trial was out almost on the island with that mountain in the background. But anyway, continuity aside, Wistful Wild's great. Anyway, next time on Let's Play Pikmin 2, we'll head back to the Wistful Wild and jump in the Cavern of Chaos, which I should have done yesterday. See you guys then.